All right, guys. So it's it's been a while. This is the World Finals with Jansen, Gomes, and Tainan, and I I don't watch everything live, but when I'm in front of the TV, it'll come up on my feed and I'll watch it. And I wanted to do this particular match because I think it shows a lot of strategy and something that we can both look at. I'm not rooting for either side again. What I want to do is maybe there's a better format, but the way I think about it is like we're going to watch the match together and it's like I'm in your ear, right? So one of the things I think about is like when I was a white belt, blue belt, purple belt, whatever, I wish I had a black belt just sitting next to me. Like nothing unique about me is just that I can just be in your ear and answer questions or like, oh, that's interesting, point things out, whatever. Hopefully this will help out anyone who's I think what this video will help is give you an insight on how much strategy is involved and how game plan can really make a difference. And honestly, I dealt into game planning and really focus on how much of a difference it makes after like late in my purple, like middle of my brown. I really realized like, oh, it's technique is important, but strategy is super underrated at the time when I was just like, I knew it was important, but I didn't realize how important. Okay. But what I'm saying is we're going to use this as an incredible case study to talk about how the hell this happened. And it's just badass as fuck. You know what I mean? So, here it is. Its strategy is Jansen Gomes, Tainan Dalpra. From what I understand, Tainan was completely undefeated at black belt. I think he's going for his third world title here or something like that. And as a black belt adult, and Jansen is not someone who's like people. If there was a ranking, Jansen would be objectively below Tainan, but it's really interesting what he's able to do to just topple over someone so dominant. People wrote off Jansen, especially before the tournament, so it's really interesting to see. My experience with Jansen is through the who's next or who's number one. When there was that show on Flow, and China, I mean, we all been hearing about it. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people and they reference him and stuff like that. So it's really gonna be interesting to see. So yeah, so that's it. I'm not rooting for anyone. I just want to point out some shit that I'm thinking about. The person is a younger version of myself. So if anything, I'm helping out anyone who can look at this match and be like, if it's boring to you, hopefully this helps with that, because when I was watching this shit, I was glued. You know what I'm saying? I had to rewind a couple times. It was really cool. So I want to jump on here and like, let's watch this shit together. If anyone has any feedback on how to do this better, let me know. I just want to share what I see and maybe it can help you guys out. So let's take a look, okay?
Middleweight division for the Worlds. These guys have some history, fought in the colored belts. Both have wins over one another. And they are both looking.
Okay, so one of the things that you saw Tainan and both Jansen do, I mean, this is the finals. They might, you know what I mean? This is serious. And so one of the differences from brown to black, purple to black, for me was recognizing, and this is not even, I don't even know if I could articulate it explicitly back then, but the way I see it now and how I explain is, it's not about who's better. It's about like extreme focus on risk mitigation. Okay, this is why you see at the black belt the matches are longer, because, and you tend to see the word, I'm gonna say the word conservatism, is because you can't afford to make a mistake at this level. You can't afford to commit crazy. You can't afford to be too open and exposed. Okay, and so you're gonna see me reference that a lot in general with black belt matches of this level. But the second part is like sort of related, is taking your time, choosing your grips, stuff like that. You're not gonna, I know a lot of lower belts, they go for the grips because they know they should. They don't know why though. Like they don't know exactly why. They don't know how this feeds into that, or how this is related to this, how this impacts them in this way. So in this situation, something I always point out to people, particularly like lower belts, is what's the rush? Okay, at the white belt, blue belt, purple belt, it doesn't really matter, because shit goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But that is not the goal. Because if you go up and down, up and down, up and down consistently through your matches when you compete, even on the mat, and you go against someone like more experienced, they're gonna shut you down, and then they're gonna like take you out. Yeah, so because there's just too much room. It's not conservative enough. You're taking too many risks and stuff like that. I'm not saying boring. I'm saying let's remove the mistakes. And I think that's one of the things that I was always thinking, I want to get better. I want to get better. I want to get better. But really is like killing those holes, killing those like mistakes that we make all the time, and we don't even know it. That's where good mentorship and coaching can come in, and good partners. They can just call you out and be like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So something to keep in mind. So check this out.
Both have wins over weight division for the Worlds. These guys have some history, fought in the colored belts. Both have wins.
Jansen's like, yeah, let's go. Tainan's like, all right, bro, let's get this.
Wins over one another.
Tainan said on the right, Jansen on the left. They circled. Again, there's no rush right now. This is a 10-minute match, yeah? But it's beyond, this is not to conserve energy at this level. This is just, what's the point of just going balls out and going in? I remember there's a Bernardo Faria match that he did this and it worked for him because he saw an opportunity, okay? But unless like you see something like that, it's better to just, let's chill, you know? Leangelo's famous for sidestepping hands out. He could have taken a breath before, but he wanted to take a breath at the start of the match. Why? Because it's about to go down. So you don't want to risk these things. So if you're in a habit of rushing to it, unless you know you're rushing to a guard or something that you know you're OP in, take your time. Because both these guys are really good passers. You know what I'm saying? So let's see.
And they are both looking pumped and ready for this middleweight final.
The initial grip grabs, like these are the things that they want. When it's neutral and you want to go for a grip, you have to know what it's for. And then notice how Tainan has a traditional collar sleeve, and then Jansen went for the double collar.
And they are both looking pumped and ready for this middleweight final.
Boom. And then you'll start seeing him shake it. This is I think Jansen does this a lot, where he's constantly adding fakes and tricks to his takedowns. I'm not saying he doesn't take down, he does, but this is to like mitigate, I don't know, guard pulls or something. But if anything, it's to prevent them from settling in.
Tainan Dalpra
to the sleeve, and then he pulls.
Undefeated in IBJJF competition.
Okay, so a lot of times people will just immediately try to stand up and try to get over this leg. The issue is that he has the collar. So I really like this approach. This goes right into strategy. No rushing, no being open. You get the grips you want. He gets the pull. Tainan is really good at sweeping from bottom, and then Jansen is looking for the pass, right? So, but here's the thing. He's not going to go, okay, time to pass now. As much as this is a pass attempt, this is very much a defensive way of approaching it too, in my opinion. I think he's doing it to be smart.
60 wins.
Yep, you saw him touch the
now going for his 61st in this middleweight final.
Let the sequences play.
Unreal record.
He's killing this foot to prevent him from inverting, to prevent another like stable
Jansen
like
Gomes
post on
coming
his
off
body.
of a victory versus Ty
Is this particularly offensive for him? No, but he's creeping position.
Tainan's got 2 black belt world titles,
2021
and 2022. 3 pan titles, a Brasileiro title, 2.
So there's a couple things. He has a collar, and his body weight is loading that leg that's here. And it's not just to load the leg; it's the loading of the leg and isolating that outside leg is to nullify his legs, his guard. But what he's trying to really do is also trying to prevent like inversions and stuff like that. So he's trying to keep him flat on his rib.
2 European titles. He's been so dominant, over a 70% submission rate in his black belt.
So you see how he's creeping? Big long step, whatever, maybe possible, not at this level. Probably not. He doesn't want to risk that. He'll play on the outside if he ends up doing that. But what he's really doing, I think, he's just nullifying. And obviously he's trying to get underneath Jansen right now, but he's doing a good job of being on the outside, but low. Not directly on top of him, not loading himself.
Matches. Unreal statistics. Jansen won the Europeans this year, 2023, in the medium heavy division. Took silver at the pans.
And now he's here at. And this is actually better for him. This is not what Jansen wanted, but what's cool is with that grip he turned into post, but kept the grip.
Middleweight.
fighting grips along the way. Grip position is really important. I just had a class on this the other day. Too many people don't recognize the grip. Why? Because they don't pay for it, right? But at this level, if you get in the habit of letting people have grips and letting them do whatever they want with it, then you will pay. Now, it's a tough lesson to learn because you only will be defensive and thoughtful about this once you get burned at the higher level. So it's this component of jiu-jitsu that creeps into your progress that you have to adopt later, because it doesn't really help you in the beginning. If you know what you're doing, like if you're a judoka coming in and you have an emphasis on grip fighting, it's a edge for sure. But it doesn't hurt you to not fight the grip at the lower level. So it's something I wanted to point out. But that was really cool. His grip positioning is offensive and defensive. It can be multi-purpose. This position's here. If he has a collar, he can use it to keep his base broken. Breaks it right away. His right hand will probably like start attacking the leg. I don't know. Let's see.
Had 2 submissions
Big
yesterday.
back set.
And the win over Ty.
Oh my
Look out,
goodness!
Jansen!
There we go.
Here he goes,
Nearly on the back of Tainan.
Unbelievable!
Oh my
Unreal!
goodness!
No hooks.
Jansen Gomes!
And then
That's
the
nearly-
ref gives the advantage. You get an advantage when you have a near point position. So if you have and a near sub, so it's a 1 advantage. It's not like he has back, almost had back. He gets 4 advantages or something like that. It's an acknowledgement of an event that happened. Here's the crazy thing about this. We're talking an inversion, recovery, turning, and then this big cartwheel into a back take. It's a lot going on. This is not luck. So it's using predictive movements. So I call it data chunking, and you've recognized patterns. The whole purpose of people going better and better into the belts is building these like data warehouses where you can sort of pull data and then you can do your own analysis work of just like what is common. When I put my left hand down, what did they do with their right hand or whatever? Like if I put my hand on their collar, what did they do? What is their reaction? Did their foot flicker? You know what I mean? So data chunking, doing the most basic shit. And then at the higher belt level, you see this really turn on at the like high level purple belts, is they have enough data to where they can start breaking patterns and then taking advantage of your opponent. So there's a really big aspect of competing where you want to surprise your opponent. At the lower belt levels, if you want to surprise them, you surprise them by making mistakes. You surprise them by breaking patterns, right? You need to surprise them. At the higher belt level, they make these same quote-unquote mistakes. They just know that they're doing them. So there's good fundamental base, which the whole point is to be more effective and to be taking on less of a risk. But we can take a look at that sequence again. He's inverted. He's damn near inverted, and he's loaded on top of him. He was up over here. He does a big back step, which is awesome. Jansen does this a lot. If you go in Flow and you watch a sparring prep for Worlds, he did this with a lot of people. So there's a lot of there's a bit of athleticism here, but it's really great timing and just understanding movement. He's been doing this since he was a little kid, so his movement's crazy.
Missions yesterday.
Right there. Boom. This is where Tainan's sweeps are really good. Tainan doesn't... One of the best people that sweep from bottom, they don't necessarily get into this web situation and then they fight their way out of it. Like web and ease the opponent into a sweep. What happens is they get into these strong positions of strength from bottom, of control. They off balance and they immediately turn it into a wrestle up. And that's what Tainan was trying to do here. But because Jansen's on the top position and he's able to be, he is athletic, he does these things himself, he was ready for it. And watch, you come in for the sprawl, he's in the seated position. This is not good for Tainan, so he needs to come up to his knees. In that same time, instead of continuing the sprawl, which most people will do, he breaks it and jumps over the back. So let's take a look.
The Europeans this year, 2023 in the medium heavy division, took silver at the Pans. And now he's here at middleweight.
There's a grip break.
Had 2 submissions yesterday.
Settle in.
Had the win over Ty.
Oh my
God!
goodness!
Almost got the back.
And bang. So another tip, and this is it's a small tip, but it's like a revelation when in my own progress, is getting up to your knee when you're trying to attack the back. Okay? Let me tell you something.
Oh my goodness!
Boom. Even at white belt, you guys are going to be here. Okay? And the trick is to not stay on your hip. If you stay on your hip, they will get out. And at a certain point, I think I learned this at like, I seen it at blue. It didn't really make an impact. And then at purple is when I realized you got to hike up the hip into the knee. If not, you're going to be low. They're going to be elevated. You're losing. Gravity's like not on your side in that situation. We're here. He's about to escape. Watch what he does. He hikes up to the knee. Boom. What that enables you to do, be elevated. Look, hip. If your hip was down where his knee is, his foot wouldn't be all the way to this side. His hip would stop, or his heel would stop up here. Your heel will probably edge the hip, but you really need a full hook to go inside. And so elevating yourself in these scrambles are super, super important. Number one, for sweeping, because if you end up higher than your opponent, you will get the sweep. And then in the back chase, if you get higher, you are more mobile and you have more length in the far side leg. You feel me? So something to point out. Let's go.
Here he goes, Jansen on the back of Tainan. Unbelievable!
And Tainan's fighting really hard. If you notice, he's going chest out. He's going chest down. His hips are adjusting. He's got one hook in. He got that hook in. He's working on his right hook.
Oh, unreal!
To get points in IBJJF, you need to establish for 3 seconds. He never actually got the hook in, but that was a really good chase.
Jansen Gomes nearly takes the...
He got an advantage. Now, some people, I believe the rules are like the hooks are in and then you lose it. So it's like you have the position, you just didn't hold it for 3, you get an advantage. I think, I don't know. In this situation, it's like, okay, advantage.
Back of Tainan Dalpra!
2 advantages on the board for Jansen Gomes.
And again, similar to the very beginning of the match, you're in good positions. Like, a neutral is pretty good position. 50-50% chance, like, you know, everything equal, 50-50. That's a pretty good percentage. And that's also a point where you sort of want to mitigate risk as well, so, but be offensive equally. In this position, he's really offensive. Tainan's really, really tough. If it was a lower belt, he would probably be chasing into more bigger and bigger positions. In this position, Tainan's trying to just stabilize and just like, let's shake the cobwebs off real quick. It's like a lot went down. Let me just take this shit slow, because wouldn't it be sweet to like dominate top position right now?
And barely controlling that left leg of Jansen.
Not knee on belly, right? This is like essentially almost a 3/4 mount. All right. So let's see. Tainan's focusing on posting against his knee. Why? So he can get into like a half guard, maybe a knee shield eventually. But let's see.
What a moment!
Jansen digging.
Starts to turn out. Yep. He still hold on to this. Why? Because he's probably going to help him invert or get a butterfly on the opposite side.
For that underhook.
Good. That's not super common. People don't hold on to that, but that's pretty cool as a defensive tactic. I don't typically like it when people do that defense, because what happens is they feed the knee into a half guard, but then their back is still exposed, and then that's how you get your back taken. In this situation, he held on to the knee, and then he kept it, even with a deep underhook. Did you see what Jansen did? He had an underhook here.
Barely controlling that left leg of Jansen.
He has a collar. He has the cut.
What
He has
a
the knee.
moment!
Underhook.
Jansen digging
He's
for
still
that
holding
underhook.
on. But boom, he recovers into this, like a reverse De La Hiva hook kind of thing. That's badass. That's cool. I
Tainan
didn't pick up on
manages
that.
to get a
That's
little
pretty
bit of
cool.
space
Let
on
me
the
try
side
that.
of the map, but what a crazy moment!
Okay.
Wow.
Reset off the mats.
Heart is beating so fast right now.
Jansen Gomes is quick. That guy moves.
For all the competitors out there, this is super, super important. Make sure, if you want to be fair, make sure you also are really focused on where the grips and the leg positions are, because when you get reset, you might get fucked over, because you have to assume the referee can't remember all the details. It's really difficult, right? Number 2, there's no camera. Number 3, there's your opponent will more likely edge into a better position for themselves. You can't blame them. So if you want to be an honorable guy, you want to be all good, you keep it to where you were. The reality is you're competing against other people that want to have an edge, and it's not illegal to do so. I've not seen anyone penalized for fighting too hard. Maybe they fight too hard and they're inactive, like they don't want to continue, but like this is an area where you have to be mitigating risk again. This is a strategic moment, and you can't just, okay, reset, all right, fuck it. You know what I mean? No. So let's take a look at where they started.
My heart is beating so fast right. Manages to get a little bit.
Right leg to the outside, left leg. Remember in that reverse daily, he's flat on his back. He's got a call in the right hand. Left hand was hovering the shin, and he has open grip. He has a left grip. Let's
see. Space. Who's fast? Is here.
No, it's totally different. Good for Tainan, good for Jansen. Let's see. He had a reverse De La Riva hook on his left leg, and as a result, Jansen was more towards the right side, which is reminiscent of his passing position before, just a different like leg position. Jansen's more inside in the middle. Tainan can turn this into a collar sleeve. I would say this is probably better for Tainan, but without knowing the super intricacies of what they want, like Tainan also likes being underneath his opponent, so which was better on the other situation. But the main thing is it's different. The biggest thing is his foot was on the inside. This gives him pathway to go to the right. Now he can't. And I'm not saying they're being malicious in this or whatever. It's just sometimes you just get caught up in the moment and you forget these tiny details. Jansen doesn't seem to be worried.
A little bit of discussion about the reset. Jansen up 2 advantages right now over Tainan Dalpra.
This match was.
Yeah, they're fixing it, but he's giving it an outside deal.
Here we go.
Currently leading this.
Okay, here we go. Let's go.
Here we go.
Goes for the underhook, similar to at the start of the match. So this pass is deliberate.
Restarted. Jansen Gomes on top.
Same thing, sleeve or the cuff and an underhook, and he's passing on the right side. This is deliberate.
Currently leading this match.
Look at you.
Interesting thing that I think a lot of us try, but I really believe that this is probably works for him in the gym is, and in terms I'm sure, but he hooks the underhook and then he slides underneath the leg. Instead of moving the leg like we most think, like lifting him, he props it up and he slides it forward like a baseball.
Jansen Gomes on top, currently leading this match.
Hips are down.
Look at Jansen.
Forward, and then load. Maybe he tries to slip a pass, but right into the
Gomes getting right to work.
He's stapling this to the floor.
Yeah, trying to get this double underpass going. Tainan keeping that left leg really heavy.
And this is the thing that stood out to me when I first watched this. I wasn't thinking, I was just watching. That dude looks like Jacare. Is that dude Jacare? Here's the thing. Tainan is really good about getting into good positions, off balancing, and coming up. Either on a wrestle up or he has a really good grip on the cuff, and he uses that to get the sweep. We saw that with Ronaldo Jr., I think, a lot. Yeah, so he's trying to do that. Jansen, I don't know if this is his main form of passing, but this has got to be curated for Tainan. The purpose of the type of passing, think about this. When we're talking about winning a match, if one person pulls and one person attacks, and one person is actively pursuing passing, and other person is actively protecting themselves or pursuing sweeping, 0-0, right? It depends how close they were to sweep. It depends how close they were for the pass. You might get an advantage, but let's say 0-0-0-0. Okay, referees will most likely give the aggressive person, i.e., the person on top, the decision to move forward. Okay, so let's think about this from a strategic perspective on a tournament. What is your incentive to actually finish the pass? You know, like he got really close to passing that one time and he lost position, right? Off the back take, like he was in a passed position. He didn't pass guard, but he was there, all right? And Tainan's just too good for that shit, all right? So it's one of those things where you have to think about yourself as a competitor and being like, I have 2 minutes down. Shit went ham. 8 minutes left. I'm in this passing position. And there is no rush. All right, especially since he's the one up by 2 advantage. What's the other advantage for? I should double check that. But He's the one he's up for advantage, right? He's the one in the passing position. If everything goes nothing and it stalemates this whole time in the 8, he's going to go. Now, we have to mitigate that with the calls of stalling, okay? But with stalling, as long as he has these attempts, he will not be called stalling. You feel what I'm saying? So all of that is to say, this is the strategy that I was referring to at the beginning of the match, which is to nullify Bottom's game. Nullifying Bottom's game. Tainan pulled, and then it sets off this precedent of defending the whole time. All right? It's not necessarily what a great passing system. What a bad bottom system. It's not that at all. It's nullifying the game. It's mitigating risk. It's doing things and taking the time. So right now, is he going ham on the passing? When he sees a window, he does, but there's no reason to force things when he's putting pressure into that pass, for sure. He's putting pressure into trying to make it uncomfortable, but he's not pulsing the pass like that right now, okay? So this is where it comes to strategy. Reset the mind. Can you still win without ever passing the guard? Yeah, you can. So is there value to passing the guard? There is, but you should give some of that value away and give it to the attempt of passing. Okay, because there's going to be plenty of times when you spar with people that are better than you or whatever, and you can win in an IBJJF setting. That's how we're keeping count in our mind, looking at the clock, whatever, visualizing a ref. What are they seeing? What am I doing? What are they seeing? And nullifying the game and putting pressure. You can feel satisfied about winning that round, even if you didn't get the 3 points for passing. You see what I'm saying? So this is where the strategy is really nuanced that I didn't pick up on at Blue. I was like, what the fuck? He couldn't pass or whatever. You know what I mean? So try to piece these things together. Let me. Back to stuff in the leg. Now he's
so good with that cross grip on the lapel.
Bam. Tainan's so sick. He has what typically would be like a butterfly position. Like on this side, you have the collar, you have the sleeve. You can lift and go over. Jansen's doing a great job of squatting. But what happens when people squat, their weight is not on you anymore. And then he pushed Jansen, but in effect pushes himself upright. And you're going to see he's going to try to fight up for that wrestle up again.
Tainan's so good.
Right here. Where's the weight? It's in front of him. It's not on top of him.
Good with that.
He's pushing.
Cross grip.
But look, he scoots his butt back. He has the elevated position. We talked about elevation. Again, these are not techniques. These are just like things to note as you're going in and training, trying to get better. He's on his feet. He's on his ass. If they both stood up right now, he would win this scenario. All right. Usually in this situation, you start thinking about flying arm bars and whatever to really catch people off guard. Not when they're really, really good. Okay, because he can release and just pull again. So let's see.
Grip on the lapel.
Not only is he elevated, right? Note the foot position. He secured the knee, and he has a collar, I believe, or he doesn't. He has a hand on the neck. He can turn him. He can run him over. But this is going to be a tough come up for Tainan. But the recovery to that seated position is key.
Trying to stand up.
Good. He turned him over. This is what Tainan wants. He loves this grip here. He loves this grip, and he goes into single leg X. This is the typical, now we're talking Tainan. If there was a chance, let's go, you know?
Tainan's so good with that cross grip on the lapel. Trying to stand up.
He's okay.
Gets
No
to
points.
a single leg X.
Into
One of his
single leg
best sweeping positions.
His right hand's looking for that far side leg. Jansen, again, great job counter fighting the sweep from top. Now, this is him, again, we're putting pressure on Tainan. All right, he's putting pressure on him. He's also being defensive, and along the way, the big motions here is his hip and his hand here, putting pressure on his sweeping ability, his guard. But this is also some maintenance work as well. Again, grip fighting is the key. Grip. Look at his grip. These are not just passive things. These are built in. This is really important.
Jansen does have an amazing base on top.
See, the fight is happening.
Tainan working that right hand grip in the lapel.
Into the underhook. Super strong grip. Very strong grip. Access to
Start to
inversions,
stretch
which is good
Jansen
with
out a
Tainan.
bit. Underhooking that leg.
This is concerning. His weight is off of him a little bit. His foot's here. He can jackknife him here and then start attacking from in inversion. He needs to get heavier a little bit, but we'll see what's he's up to.
We see him
still actively fighting this grip. You see Tainan really wants that grip. Jansen knows this. He does not want him to get that grip at the fault of his base, but let's see.
use this position so much and so effectively in competition.
Notice, like, he has the underhook. Some people put their hand behind their head to keep it tighter, but there's something to be said about gripping the pant here because you can have a really good lift. If his hand is behind his head, he's controlling the leg, but he doesn't control, have a real good control of distance and lifting. He has an underhook and a grip on the pant. That's pretty dope. I like that.
Jansen controlling that sleeve grip.
Tainan's like, fuck it, I'll take the collar. He goes for the attempt, and his base is just sick.
Jansen Gomes over, but the base of Jansen Gomes standing right over the top of Tainan Dalpra here.
So in single leg X, you want to peel this leg off. He's allowing this to happen, maybe because he knows he's, like, again, like, taking his time. He's nullifying the game. He feels comfortable here. He went and reached for that foot on his hip. Two things happen: you either peel it off or you just dive in for a foot lock there. But he's up. He's got 7 minutes in the game. He's not gonna dive for shit, and he's not. He'll do a standing leg lock to make Tainan retreat. These are some options that I'm thinking might be in his head. But right now he's doing a good job of mitigating risk, establishing base. He might want to earn his way back down, but who knows? He doesn't want to go straight down. He wants to go to the side. It's shown. He might have to fight this, but usually when the foot is under, he's going to start passing on the left side.
Tainan gets Jansen to put his knee on the mat.
He's still, like, hovering around this hand. He knows that that's super important. Again, he's stuffing the sweeping attempt. He's using this top position, not necessarily to pass right now, but to just mitigate everything that Tainan's doing, right? He's doing a really good job. This is some strategic shit. Why? Because he's not in a rush. Whenever someone's in a rush, it's just like they had a strategy they thought of a day ago, and then they're just trying to do it regardless. He's just analyzing everything right now. Tainan's also, here's the big thing about Tainan, he's not in a rush as well. Still got 7 minutes on the clock. He can do a lot in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? He's down by advantage. But here's the thing. Let's think about Tainan for a second. What's the most likely case scenario? A potential sweep or standing up to a takedown. Yeah, coming up on a wrestler with the leg and then getting the takedown. He gets the 2. He's 2-0 advantage. Points are up. So he's actually not too worried right now. Advantages are like something people care about at the end and not at the beginning, right? If you care about it in the beginning, you'll see people stalling prematurely. That shutdown allows the person on bottom to be more offensive. And so this is that, like, interplay of, like, who's pushing the pace on the offense. And right now, he's doing a great job. Jansen doing a great job pushing the pace on the offense, but right now he's really focused on defensive top position, and Tainan's not in a rush. That's why he's not being desperate. He can't get this grip that he wants, and he touches the collar to maybe just feint, but he's really trying to get that grip a lot. And with 7 minutes on the clock, it's like it's
the pant grip on the top leg.
No one was thinking upset right now.
As soon as Tainan gets the grip, immediately pushes.
Surfing that foot.
Trying to come up.
And again, this is not... He's not... Jansen's not willing to give these grips up. So he's surfing right now. And that's... It goes back into that long step, that back step he did earlier. I've seen the video of him rolling, and he's freaking... Sometimes you need some skills, some attributes that you develop along the way. Yeah, and then so this is great. A great display.
Jansen with a great base still, but Tainan's got that far sleeve grip.
Turning into a 50-50.
Oh!
And like I said, he's chilling, he's putting pressure on. When he sees an opportunity, he goes.
Big pass attempt from Jansen Gomes. Tainan recovers. Oh, here goes Jansen.
The crowd is coming more alive for Jansen Gomes. Trying to pass around to the side. He's got that.
Back to knee shield where Tainan is comfortable, but let's look at Tainan's defense here. You know, he's high, Jansen, but watch his feet work.
Jansen with a great base still, but Tainan's got that far sleeve grip.
Hike steps, bow. tosses, boom. And then he's caught on the knee. His foot will come around. So here's the thing. Everyone knows about that near side knee, but it's this far side leg that does all the work at this level.
Oh!
He went from knee to foot to foot. His foot come back,
Big pass attempt
and then his foot comes back.
from Jansen Gomes. Tainan
All the while he's stapled here. This is important because you can do K guard and stuff like that. You can uplift from the bottom butterfly, but typically you want to start moving your chest right now so you can like take advantage of this and not get stuck into the position you were before. But he has a really tight grip. He actually wants to like go underneath him.
Covers. Oh, here goes Jansen.
The crowd is coming more alive for Jansen Gomes.
Big flurry from Jansen. He's
Trying to pass around to the side. He's got that grip on the collar with his right hand.
Great job. You see Tainan had a glimpse of it. We don't want to stay on our ribs and shoulders. Our mobility is trash there, especially without our guard. When the guard is getting passed and you have less use of the guard, you have to start utilizing movement on your body.
Trying to pass around to the side. He's got that grip on the collar.
Right there. You see, he puts his elbow on and it readjusts his hips. Two reasons you do that: to get the fuck out of there, to get up, or to readjust to get your guard back. Right. Once you utilize the guard.
With his right hand.
And we're back to it. We're back to the position that we were when we like reset from that first reset. Again, he goes back to that crazy grip. This is a really strong grip that he keeps from beginning to end, from here to a single leg X and then beyond.
This place is absolutely on fire for this middle.
Jansen's doing great, pushing, defense, boom, explosion. And is he passing? He's definitely trying. But who's scoring? You know what I'm saying?
Final. Jansen Gomes still leading by 2 advantages over 2-time black belt world champion Tainan Dalpra. Tainan looking.
See how he's like leaning back? I always say like this is the point where you post and go. You wrestle up, you kick him out. But he's posted so heavy.
For his 3rd black belt world title, Jansen looking for his first.
Like, walk on minefield right now. Is
the
he
energy in the
stalling?
pyramid is
no,
absolutely crazy.
You see he's opened up. He's still going for passes when
in an entire sea of AOT.
But he's not rushing to those windows. I think that's really key here.
Competitors.
And Tainan's just look at it from Tainan's perspective. He's getting countered every step of the way. He's not open, so he's not getting like taken advantage of, except for that near back take. But this is really tough on him. He's on the edges of the game, and Jansen's got the confidence to be that tight and still put him on his edge.
Going crazy in the crowd right now.
Again, grip, isolating the hip.
Still on top with that left knee forward, maintaining a really solid base. Tainan trying to set up some of his sweeps. He's gotten to good sweeping positions.
Good
Tainan's
try.
got that lapel grip
he's
now.
posted on the ground, preventing him from getting
Underneath
any
the leg of
like,
Jansen Gomes.
Very good point of
going.
control. We've seen that in other black belt finals today.
If he's able to take his left foot out and get Jansen off balance going backwards, he could come up for a sweep here. And I think that Jansen Gomes' best bet is to avoid getting swept. I think keeping Tainan Dalpra on his
pressure, stacking. He's on the ground. It's okay. There's no. He feels comfortable putting his hip on the ground because Tainan needs to go up. But Jansen's leg is underneath his guard, so he could always just backstep like this and be elevated. Again, managing the height is really important here. Constant pressure with the knee down the middle.
With his left hand.
And when it comes to these like lapel grips, like I've had students say, "Hey, how do I deal with that?" Watch how he deals with it. He's very cautious. He's not actively attacking the lapel. Maybe I always say it's a little bit too late. You got to do that early because it's just a failed pursuit when your focus should be on the body, on the hips and stuff like that. So it's not super complicated position right now for Jansen because he is on the outside. Seated position, this is getting dangerous. Let's see.
Trying to use that to sweep.
Back down.
5.5 minutes into this middleweight final here at the 2023 Worlds. Jansen Gomes still in the lead. 2 advantages to none over Tainan Dalpra.
On the sides of his feet. Left hand posted on that top leg, preventing that inversion. That was a successful prevention of the inversion right there. His right hand not even on his collar. His right hand not dealing with the foot. His right hand posted. Because what's happening is he's trying to counter the get up, the stand up that's gonna happen. But that post on the hand doesn't help if he inverts. So keeping that left hand on the sleeve is super important. This is a wrestle. This is not easy.
Lapel grip is a difficult thing to deal with.
There's Tainan breaking it.
Matches. Now Jansen trying to use his right foot on Tainan's hip potentially.
He's trying to kick his leg out of that lapel.
There's the inversion that Tainan's been looking for.
He needs to be careful not to give up the position.
But again, he has that foot. He has that shin.
This left grip of Jansen Gomes has been giving Tainan Dalpra problems in this position.
Super tough on
he lets go right there.
Jansen will get back to the grip. There's no reason why he shouldn't.
We're approaching the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, 3-minute mark.
This black belt middleweight
At this
final.
point, Tainan's like, okay, I still have time, but we're cutting it close, bro. So I just need one sweep up in this bitch.
Tainan trying to invert underneath Jansen.
But look, once again, that left hand grip
of
Jansen Gomes.
And then Jansen's
saving him at the moment.
This is purely defensive right now. Does this help him get closer to a pass? No. Tainan, does it help him come up? Little premature. He is not in a position to stand up. So the trick here is this is really interesting because he's posted here. There's two things that's happening. Making it harder to get underneath him and lift him, right? Number two is there's this passive thing of if your opponent takes a bait of seeing you on your ass like this, that they will let go and come up to like secure a quick sweep. But the way he has control of his legs, the way his bottom leg is behind his top leg, he is ready to pop up at any moment. So this is really interesting. I personally don't do this, but he's giving me a good case for when it's a tough match and you're trying to like play on this outside game, play into his mind of maybe making him have a mistake. If this was like a desperation thing, like he would probably have like more likely take it, but Tainan's sticking to the plan. He needs that sweep, especially as it gets closer and closer to time.
It's preventing too bad of an inversion. Little under 3 minutes to go.
Like I said, this is bad. This is bad. Like, I would not tell a blue belt to sit on your ass when you're playing against someone's guard. But again, he has so much experience. He knows what he's going to do. So if he comes up with him, elevate, block him down just like before, burns another 20 seconds. This is better for him. He's thinking about burning time now. He's thinking about sweeping. He's thinking about maintaining this edge.
Tainan really trying to keep good control of that leg, force it to the other side of his hip.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe Jansen can afford to let this match go into 50-50 fight. He needs to keep that left hand grip on the collar and try to get out his left foot. Oh, and he gets the leg out.
There we go.
Disengages from the lapel grip.
This is the window.
Now he's free. This is where Jansen's dangerous.
Yep.
Oh, and Jansen Gomes is putting the pressure on Tainan Dalpra.
Let's think about this, what he did, why it's really important. It's not the technique. Hands out, chest down, passing like this. This is 100% a strategic move. All right. He's putting pressure to make Tainan like second guess his grips, look for a grip, something like that. And guess what? Tainan's not coming. Why is like there's no connection? Why wouldn't he just stand up and go for it? First of all, we don't know if he wants to stand up. What if he's gonna have a harder time standing up? So that's number one. He probably doesn't want to do it. He wants to earn his way up and stay in control. By just standing up, it just increased risk for Tainan. Okay. Number two, we're putting that pressure on. Is he actively trying to pass? The risk is higher now that he doesn't have his grips with him, right? But again, it's not necessarily 50-50 chance, but this is a higher chance for him to really get position on him. So he's more about want to get back to that cuff grip, want to get back his legs in position. So this is a great opportunity for the ref to see who's being aggressive and who's being aggressive, the person on top, person on bottom. In this situation, strategically, it works well for him. You see the crowd going, and it elicits a response. Referees are taking note of not the crowd, but of what just happened. He's kicking his grips off. He's coming in, putting pressure. He didn't really commit, but Tainan was staying in position. So that makes an impact.
And he's feeling himself out there.
I cannot believe the energy in this building right now. It's unbelievable.
It's a 30-minute video. It's 10, 15 minutes. It's crazy.
Opportunity to pass around the outside. Jansen Gomes.
Tainan still not standing.
Almost seems like he's taunting.
Shows he doesn't want. Tainan, he's looking for that sweep. He wants to pull. Yep. And he wants that sweep. He needs that too. He's not gonna get the two with the takedown. Makes sense because Jansen's so he's so good on his feet.
Very dangerous from this position.
There's that slide through. Now into the stack.
Gets his hips off the mat.
So this is him being offensive. Tainan's being defensive. His hand on the hip is a sign of that. His left foot is gonna put weight on his leg so he doesn't go over. So this is a sign of that. Tainan cannot flip. A lot of people invert and flip and then like try to attack feet or whatever. Tainan's again mitigating risk. He does not want to get flipped. He wants to stay. He wants to settle back to flat and then secure a guard position that will work better for him. That has a higher chance of success.
Good position here for Jansen Gomes.
There we go. Now he's like, okay, I weathered the storm. Let's get back into position.
That collar grip
Let's
that was able to bring his hips down.
A lot of danger for a bit.
But 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Neither guy's tired, by the way. There's no way. Neither guy is tired.
Tainan and Dalpra to make the comeback.
Playing defensive again. See this interplay? I think this is what's really brilliant about this. It's like
the top position.
there's just so much shit going on. Now Tainan's feeling the pressure. You can see he's going for it more. And look, he's back to laying down. This is a crazy strategy.
Hand grip on the pants that you talked about earlier, Jake.
There we go on the stand up. He wanted the two. That's it. And look, like a spring, he's ready to come up.
Jansen forces him back down to the ground. We're out.
There's a reason why his hand is behind him is because he knows he's going to dampen the push in, and he's able to push off his palm to get in the inside. We talked about it earlier. It's happening now. It's happening now, especially, like I said, as the time goes on, he's going to be like, I am more incentivized to just risk it and take it now. And he's doing a great job of using that spring action. He's getting it. He's letting them know you can stand up, bro. And he's ready to come up. Look, every time Tainan gets to his ass, he's going to try to get up into this 50-50.
More difficult for Tainan to come up and get the sweep. 30 seconds. We're in 50.
Now it's 50-50. This is good for the person on bottom. You don't actually have to separate yourself. You just need to come up get the two. This is Jansen's also. I saw this match earlier. He's gonna hold on. 30 seconds left, dude. He's about to win.
Oh my goodness!
Why wouldn't you? Let's get that world title. Let's get money. Let's get seminars. Let's get DVDs. Look at this. Right now he's just mitigating that stand up. Tainan just has to stand up. He needs to finish the sweep.
15 seconds.
And look at this. Pure defense.
Oh my goodness!
This is amazing. This is strategy.
Jansen Gomes is still on top.
3 seconds.
3, 2, 1. Jansen Gomes, middleweight world champion here at the 2023 Worlds.
And there it is. Sorry for the. I don't know. Should I edit this down? I don't know. But I'm trying to just find these moments where you can learn, and that was incredible. When you watched that match, was there a technique that was unveiled? Was there an unstoppable technique? Was there whatever? This is why DVDs to me are just like, okay, all right, it's good to know. But what's really winning these matches is strategy. You know what I mean? So you can have a game plan, but here's the thing: when your game plan is to play it like this, think how close to the edge that Jansen had to play it to defeat this undefeated fighter, this multiple world champ, right? And it's just like, Jansen just got his black belt not too long ago. I mean, Tainan too, but I believe Jansen got it later than Tainan. And they've competed a lot coming up in purple belt. I think he hurt his knee, right? And it's strategy. And I think this is a great example of that. So when I watched this, I was like, I gotta talk about it. This is amazing. This is gonna benefit a lot of the folks that are competing now, who are constantly thinking about technique. And I'm telling you, sometimes it's the choices. Sometimes it's recognizing, are we offense or defense? Do we push the pace? Do we do all this? Do I go now? Do I not go now? You know what I'm saying? So it's a big win. It's amazing. That's a side note. It's cool the checkmate guys are protecting the AOJ kids. There's a lot of kids watching this match. And that was pretty cool. This shit gets rowdy, they know. So yeah. Lots of strategy. So he did have both hooks in. Okay, so yeah, my bad. He had it when they were both in the air. Right there. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. This is the pass attempts. Great defense by Tainan with that outside leg. All of us, we just need to learn how to do that, using both of our legs to stop. There we go. He's hands up, putting pressure. He's really just trying to get into his mental in that situation. That's really what it is. He's not, there isn't like a DVD who's like, okay, this is how left hand has to be higher than the right hand to make this work. No, this is pressure in your face, and he did that to make the right moves, to make the right, elicit the right response. You know what I mean? He's playing the time, he's playing the ref, and he's playing his game. And you could win without passing a guard, and that's a perfect example of that. You can win world fucking titles at adult black. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Let me know how I can do this shit better. I just want to like share, and hopefully that was helpful. Something in there. Let me know. On to the next one.